Come, gather round, everyone. They're about to talk Disney. I am the goat of Disney. I literally eat everything. I am still so confused as to whether I'm going to eat at Connections or Creations. So the only way I can keep them straight is I have to think, okay, well, my mouth connects to my stomach, so I guess that's Connections.
She was like, I can't talk to you now. I'm talking to Mickey. I was like, oh, all right. I mean, he is big cheese. That's fine. And then she's like, hold on. He wants to talk to you. So she FaceTimes me, and I'm FaceTiming with Mickey as I'm getting ready for the podcast.
I don't understand why people spend hard-earned money on a Mickey ice cream sandwich in the parks. I mean, we literally all have ice cream sandwiches in our freezers at home. We don't have Mickey bars. From the mind and creator of the Disney YouTube channel Living in Diz comes a whole new Disney podcast. Okay, can we talk some serious Disney here now? Nope. Get ready for all the Disney knowledge that you can handle. It's Corey. It's Lawrence. It's the Diz Pod. Where did we go? Okay, I was like, where did we go? I guess we were looking to see who was going to act on taking that down.
Yeah.
So we're back. We're here. We're good. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep, I hear you.
All right. I feel like my headphone sometimes they move funny and I don't get to hear myself much. Okay. All right. So welcome, everyone. Is this episode 33?
Oh, I've already moved on to season 2. So 31 plus 3, so 34?
In total. Okay, 34 in total. But this is season 2, episode 3 already?
3 already. Crazy.
It's like a game. It's like a game with me every week. I'm like, let me guess what episode it is.
Yeah.
Because we don't talk about it. So we're here. Welcome everyone who is here live, and we welcome you. And we just came off of our members only podcast.
Yep.
So something different. We did that for the first time before the Diz Pod. We usually do it after. Decided to do that last minute notice because we have special guests on this evening, and they can't make it till after 7. So we figured we get started. And when do they know enough just to pop in the green room?
They will in a minute. I just realized I hadn't sent them the link.
Okay, that is totally fine. That is totally fine. We're professionals, right? So once again, we do this live because we do it for you all, because we could easily record this 2 a.m, 3 a.m, whatever. We could record this at whatever. But we do it live because we do it for all of you. We thank all of our Ninja watchers, everyone that supports the channel in any way, whether it's just watching, whether it's monetarily, whether it's both. We appreciate and love each and every one of you. And that starts with Mushu, Tammy, Jacob, Tammy, Jillian, Tammy, me, and even over to the Diz Pod crew. That does include Lawrence and Catherine, who is the streamstress. And she keeps us looking dapper and looking good all the time. So we appreciate that. Good show tonight. So we actually have a title and a plan, which is the top 24 things you should do at Walt Disney World for 2024.
Yes.
And with that, we will incorporate questions for our guests, getting to know them. We'll involve them right into this. Whatever part we're at when they come in, they can dive into and they can chime in on their opinions and their thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So we will get right to that in just a moment. Jacob informed me that I guess guests are complaining that they're having some experiences on Flight of Passage where they are getting sicker than normal or usual. The screen is becoming blurry, and they're determining that it's because the glasses are so old that they're getting scratched up and marked up. And apparently, it's a very difficult task for Disney to just produce more of these because those glasses are jam-packed with technology. So
we had a 3D TV. We still have it. We have not used it as a 3D TV in, I don't know, 10, 12 years. But they have the active glasses that you have to charge and power on and everything. If you had to replace those, yeah, that would be expensive, I'm sure. I look really cool wearing them, Catherine has told me. But so yeah, I could see that being an issue. It's not like the 3D glasses at Muppet Vision 3D. Did he say that they are working on something?
He didn't get that far with me, I think, but I guess apparently I'm guessing whatever they use to create these, maybe that technology isn't available anymore, or the company that made them may not be equipped for it now.
Yeah.
So the thing I think about first though is, and it's like, how could you remedy this? Because the first thing I thought of for the future is like, so what do we do when we exit the ride? We throw our glasses into the bin.
Yeah.
Without even thinking about it. So is there a better way for guests to deposit their glasses?
Right.
Just saying place them gently in is not going to happen for the masses. So Disney might have to come up with something, like maybe it's a little mail slot that you put them in and they slide down into safety. I don't know, but that'll be something for the Imagineers to think about, because I know they're not going to let a ride like that go just because of glasses. So good point. They're going to have to come up with something else, an alternative, or something that's up to Disney to have to solve. So current issue going on over there.
Wow. Did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah.
So we did get some news. I think that came out yesterday that the dates for Flower and Garden have been announced. So that'll be February 28th through May 27th, which seems to be a little earlier. I don't remember when it ended last year, but folks are saying that that's quite early. But if you think about it, that probably makes sense, because Flower and Garden is kind of springtime. By the time you get into June, certainly in Florida, you are in well into the summertime in Florida at that point. So it might make more sense to do it February 28th through May 27th. But they're going to have new topiaries, including Tiana and Groot, and several favorites are coming back. Obviously, the Garden Rocks series will be back. The dining packages for that will be back as well. Certainly going to have Photo Pass and Memory Maker available. And, of course, the scavenger hunt, which I know that we will be doing in March when we go.
Yep. It just makes me wonder, with them shortening that festival, are we going to have, do we have dates yet for Food and Wine? I haven't had the need to really look. So I just wonder if we're going to have an extended time without a festival in Epcot.
Yeah, I haven't had time to look.
I've tended not to. Yeah, I've tended to. There are times where we like a break because the crowds are down at Epcot, but I really don't like more than like a week or two of that. Mm-hmm. And that's totally based on the food. Like, I love having all those different choices while you're at Epcot to try different things or go back to some of your favorites.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so guess we'll have to see.
Look, we have a couple special guests tonight. Bob Chapek's in the house.
Oh, we always love it when Bob shows up. What's up, Bob? Bob's still he's hanging out like in Jamaica, relaxing on the beach with all his Disney money.
Exactly.
Thanks for messing up the company. Bye. No, I'll say this, and then it looks like we got Brian ready to come on.
Yeah.
I'll say this: the other thing Jacob and I were talking about was, if Disney is in so much trouble, and this is just a whole nother subject for another time, but there's in so much financial trouble in other areas. The parks are doing well. The parks are supporting media specifically, and it was like, if you go back in time a little bit, if you just manage each thing within its own thing, then maybe you don't get in trouble.
Right.
Maybe there's no Disney Plus, but I know it kept things afloat for COVID for the parks. So I don't know if that's why we got in trouble, but I'm just thinking if you're, how can I say it? Simply, Living in Diz, the channel, any money generated in the parks stays there. If I need new tires for my car, which I actually do, I'm not going to go into the LID pocket and pay for tires.
Right.
No, that's for the channel and everything that goes with it. I'm going to dip into my professional job pocket to pay for that.
Right.
So, and I think if they would have been able to just do that, then the parks would probably be responding to Epic Universe here in Orlando more to the tune of, hey, we're going to open a fifth gate now. That's how we're going to respond. History shows that's how Disney responds. And right now we can't even finish Epcot. So just a little side note, another side note. All right. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much. Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment after the podcast because it's very, very important. And right now, we're very honored to have a guest this evening, and we would like to welcome Brian from, which is a wonderful name for a podcast when you are miles away from Main Street. It's Brian from Miles from Main Street, everybody. Let's welcome him in, everyone in chat.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. So are you solo tonight?
I am, and as you can see, we are not ready for prime time yet. The lighting's not good, whatever, but hey, yeah, I'm up here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I shout out to the Wisco into House. I saw that comment a couple times in the chat. We're up in Green Bay, or I am. My co-host is in Madison, Wisconsin, and so we're an hour earlier than you guys, so getting on as early as you guys start is a little difficult for us. So he's actually still getting home from work. So I told him to jump on if he can, but if not, you get me. So
all right.
That's good. That's fine with us. We're honored to have you. Thank you for coming on. And Lawrence found you, and Lawrence alerted me to this whole community, this podcast community. If you want to talk about that, Lawrence, for a minute.
Yeah. So, when we started the podcast back in July, I started, doing some searching, found a Facebook group on Facebook about Disney podcasters, and we post in there our new episodes and that kind of thing. And I found Miles from Main Street, and the name caught me. I was like, "Oh, that's such a good name." it's just such a good name. So I think I actually messaged you guys about it, and then I found a Disney podcast family on Instagram and started to talk to them about that process. And sorry, I'm just looking for my banner now. So it's basically a group of Disney podcasts, and Miles from Main Street is one of them. How many are there? About 10?
It might be 8.
8?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're not. I tried to get everyone to get together and create together, but we're more just kind of working together to bring listeners into the group. So
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to how many of us are in the network. But yeah, I think it's about 8.
All right. So, with that said, I'm going to roll this quick video.
You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
So, the DizPod is now part of the Disney Podcast family. So on Instagram, you can go to Disney Podcast Family. You can find all of the other podcasts in that group. And what I like is that I think, and Brian can talk to this, I feel like those podcasts are very much kind of aligned in their vision for a Disney podcast and how they portray the show, how they portray the parks. You tell me if you think that's correct.
Let me jump in for 1 second. Brian, are you able to turn up your gain, like the gain on your do you have a control board, or
Yeah.
they're just saying your volume's a little low?
How am I here? How are you doing now? Is that?
Let us know, chat. Neil, let me know. I can hear you fine, but they said you're a little bit low, so we'll let them know. You can go on and answer your question, and I'll watch out for the response.
Yeah, it's been a great group. A lot of them are out in Disneyland and looking at Disneyland. Corey from All Aboard podcast, he's been kind of running the whole show for us, and he got it all started. That's his voice that you hear in the promo that Lawrence ran, and it's been a really good partnership. It's helped us out and helped us grow, and I thought we fit in well because we're more on the East Coast. We're doing Disney World. A lot of those guys are doing Disneyland. So I'm really glad to hear that you guys are joining up, because that'll help round out things too with you guys being more Disney World. So.
And how have you been podcasting?
We've been at it for about 3 years. It kind of was one of those things that came out of COVID. Mikhailo and I are cousins, and we recently were talking, recently before we started, we had gotten together at a family function, and I had seen that he had been into Disney a little bit. He was a little taken aback when I brought it up, surprised that I would talk about something like that. But we were talking here and there, and he's like, hey, we should maybe try getting on Zoom and seeing if this could be a podcast. And we got started that way, and 3 years later, we're still going. We've added in our wives to the whole mess, and we're having a really good time with it. So,
yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I took some time to listen to your a good chunk of your last 2 podcasts, and I really enjoyed that dynamic with the wives too. It's something that I would love for my wife to take part in. I got to get her over here at some point. I mean, she's literally two rooms down right now, but I don't know if you know anything about our channel per se. The DizPod started a year ago. It started with just me with 16 episodes, doing it out of the garage pretty much. And then I decided we needed to do something different once YouTube announced that you could do podcasts there. I'm like, I think that I can take my audience from my existing YouTube channel, pull it in, and just make this so much more successful. So it's not like my wife and my family are not used to being in front of the camera, because, again, if you're not sure about or know much about our channel, Living in Diz, we live stream from the parks 2 to 3 times a week and have the podcast. So we're going all out there.
I think I have picked you up on some live streams. I pick up random live streams here and there, so I think I have picked that up, and it's always fun. So. Yeah,
we'll have to do something where we have like the wives on. Catherine said, get Tammy on, get Catherine on. That'd be good. That would be good. So yeah, I mentioned Miles from Main Street is a really great name. And so who came up with that?
That was mine. We actually wanted to do Just a Dream Away, but it was already taken by someone that had started a show and then ended it. So we didn't want to take that, so I like the alliteration of it, and being that we're in Wisconsin and so far away from where we'd rather be, we thought it worked out well.
That's cool.
Your logo says what, 1,119 miles? Did you math that?
That is the exact mileage from Mikhailo's house in Madison.
That's all.
I wonder if Spencer in chat is about 1,100. What did you say? 1,100 and what?
1,119, I think.
1,119.
1,315 actually.
Oh, 1,315.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. That's all right. No, it's a cool logo. It's a cool logo you guys came up with too. I was impressed with that. So it is it always both couples now at this point, or is it mainly you and your buddy?
It's mainly Mikhailo and I. We will be bringing the wives on more times than not, I think. Just because we, like you said, it's a fun dynamic, and we're having a good time with it that way. And so I think it's going to be more with them on there, but it's mainly Mikhailo and I. We have some ideas that we want to get through that the girls just don't get into that topic. So,
you mentioned on the most recent podcast that there's people out there that are not Disney literate. I want to. Was it you that mentioned that, or is it Mikhailo?
Oh, that's Mikhailo's thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got he has been talking. I'd agree with him too. There's a lot more people out there that understand the world of Disney and what it takes to go to the parks. And he talked about that. When we're at the parks, you're seeing more people rope dropping. You're seeing more people understand how to use Genie Plus and, just how to get around the parks better. So the things that we may have enjoyed at one time being really easy to do is getting a little bit more difficult because so many more people understand what that is.
I think that's our fault. When I heard you say that, I'm like, I think that's our fault to a degree, don't you? All the live streams available, the podcasts, people are learning about our adventures and they're taking note. So people are getting smarter, definitely getting Disney smarter.
And I think that's okay. I think hopefully it spreads out the crowds a little bit because, the ones that are paying attention and doing the research are going to still go to the times that are supposed to work. And, one of the big things that a lot of people say is take a break in the middle of the day. And those people that don't know that are going to go at 10 o'clock and be there at the busy part of the day. And so, us people that are paying attention, we can maybe avoid some of that still. I think it's hopefully going to spread out the busyness.
Yeah. Neil in chat says Disney, he says, Dina, don't count the miles, remember the smiles.
Oh, man.
I like that.
Yeah. He's very witty.
Yes.
So how often do you guys get to go to Disney from Wisco?
Oh gosh. That's a loaded question right now. We usually, as a family, my family would go every couple of years, and Mikhailo got an annual pass when it first went on sale this newest round, and he's been, I think, 4 times in the last year, and we went on a trip with them in December, and we're going back again in February, and this year I will have set foot in a Disney park 3 times in a year, when in the past it was once every 2 years. So all of a sudden it's just kind of picked up, and we're going crazy a little bit here.
Well, that's the thing,
Why are you going more often now?
Well, so last year we went to Disneyland in February. My wife had a conference out there, so we piggybacked on that and got the family out there for that. And then the December trip was kind of serendipitous. It was one of those things that Mikhailo and Kristen had picked a time to go and said, you guys should come and stay with us for a little bit. And, we got some decent flights and went down and joined them for a weekend. And then we had been planning this bigger trip that we're taking in February. So that's why we're hitting it up so often right now.
Anything
that's great, though.
particular you're looking forward to in this next trip?
We're staying at Polynesian for the first time, and we're super excited. It's one of those dream trips right now. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, the Polynesian is one where we finally got to cross that off our bucket list this past year, and would love to do it again. Would love to do the Poly again. There's just a whole atmosphere there with the Poly that we love. Probably never get into the bungalows though. That might have to be a gift.
Now that I know that I'm staying there, that's what I'm hoping. Like we walk up to the desk and they're like, "Oh, hey, how about some magic? We're gonna upgrade you to a bungalow." Yeah. I fully don't expect it, but it would be a dream.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Allison, for posting that for Brian. And yeah, so when you decide, who came up with the idea initially to do a podcast, and was it easy to pull everyone else in and buy into the idea?
It was just Mikhailo said to me, let's talk a little bit. It was right at the beginning of COVID that he had mentioned it, and jump on Zoom because everyone was getting used to using Zoom, right? So we would jump on calls and we'd talk a little bit, and we just decided to figure out how to do it. It seems like podcasting is getting a little bit easier to do. You need to, the video part, we're not quite there yet. We're working on it, but getting a mic set up and just hitting record and talking is getting a lot easier to do. So that part went really well, and we were talking a lot and having fun with it, and we just keep on going. So
what platforms can people find you on?
Anywhere that you get a podcast. We're on Apple, Google, Amazon, Podchaser, I think is one. Everything. We use Buzzsprout for distribution, so it's everywhere. I haven't looked at getting onto YouTube because I know they're going to start adding the RSS feed for podcasts. I haven't looked at that quite yet because they haven't dropped Google, but we'll be adding that. We're working on getting the video set up. Hopefully next month we'll be ready to let that roll. So
yeah, we're having a lot of fun with that. And I just noticed last week that I just got the RSS feed. So what Lawrence and I talked about doing, and we're actually doing it now, is I had 16 episodes done on iHeartRadio, Apple Music, podcasts, and Spotify, just sitting there. They're a year old. And I said, why don't we bring these over to the YouTube channel? And he said, why don't we release one a week? Or I said that or whatever. And you're like, every Sunday, let's just release a new one. So we premiered one, episode 0, we called it, season 0, episode 1. And some people came on and like, what is this? And we had to explain, oh, this is the beginning. There's no video. It's just listen. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. It was different than it is now. Much, much different. I was solo, and now I have a partner, and it's been great. I'm going to hold Crew It Up to this here. Crew It Up says he's going to take me to the bungalows because he did not come up and say hi to me at Epcot last week. Yeah.
Brian,
let's do it.
Michaela's in the chat. Can you message him the link?
I just sent it over, I thought.
Okay, cool. Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. When I was listening to the podcast today, too, your most recent one, I was impressed that one of the ladies knew the exact prime spot for Soren. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I think Kristen said it, but we all know it. And our last trip as a family out there, we were rope dropping Soren, and we walked up and got stopped right at the point that they disperse you into the different gates, and they're like, hold up, we'll let you go on the next one, we'll get you right at B1. And that was quite a treat. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always scanning that, and when we're in there, and I scout it out, and I'm like, let's see if we have a really good chance to get over to B1, and we always take it whenever we can. But I think you guys touched on this too with Soren. with over California, it doesn't really matter as much, right? I don't think we're getting that curvature on the sides, right? But it really matters for soaring around the world, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you guys find that with
film, the film that California is using over what we have? I think that's what's happening.
Yeah. Actually, David Nessie says section B, row 1, seat 6. Is that the one that puts you right in the center? I love being in that section right there. I love it for the stream as well. Welcome, Mikhailo. Did I say it right, Mikhailo?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Perfect. Welcome. We're honored to have you guys. And he has a nice Shure mic as well, just like you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lawrence just got it for Christmas, so he's sounding so much better. I'm sure eventually I'll have to splurge.
Was not expecting it, so that was a nice gift to open on Christmas Day for sure.
Is that the SM7?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are nice. Yeah. I've got the MV7, which is like the little brother of it. So
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have the logo on mine.
Yeah, these ones like were like specifically made for podcasting, whereas like the SM7 you can record like awesome vocals on.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's kind of why they did it for the logos and everything. So
yeah. Yes, Catherine gave it to me. Yes. She made sure to put that in chat.
So the title of tonight's podcast is the top 24 things you should do at WDW in 2024. So we wanted to involve you guys in that, and feel free. You're part of the family tonight. So I'll put one out there, and any of us can expand on it. And so these are not in order. I just compiled my ideas, and then we can talk about them. So number 1, in my opinion, is breakfast at homecoming.
Ooh.
I just think breakfast at homecoming. So anyone coming on a trip for 2024, take note for any of these things. Have you guys had breakfast at homecoming? Because my family stands by the fact that it's the greatest breakfast we've ever had. It's that good.
Wow. I have not had the opportunity, no.
I haven't even had dinner at homecoming yet, and it's something that every time we go, it's like, you know what, we should really do that, and it's just never we never get out there to do. We do literally everything else except for that. So that's always on the list, and we never end up getting there.
You have a recent opinion on that, Lawrence, don't you? Breakfast compared to dinner.
Yeah, so I wanted to go for breakfast, and so Corey's family and my family, we were spent 2 days together at a Verbo that we had in my last trip, and thought, we could get to homecoming, but trying to get our families out in the morning just doesn't work. So we missed it. So we went for lunch, and I was not impressed. I was not impressed with lunch. So maybe breakfast is where it's at. So
you probably didn't have the mac and cheese. My daughter is the hardest critic on the channel, and she says that the mac and cheese there is the best she's ever had, and I agree with her too. It comes in like a little crock, and it's got that mixture of cheeses where you've got the little bit of the runny cheese, but you also have the stringy cheese, and then the cheese on top that also is that crunchy texture. So they do mac and cheese right, but what they're mainly known for is the fried chicken and mac and cheese and donuts. Those are the things you want to get if you go for lunch or dinner. I don't think Lawrence got that.
I did not. Somebody in Catherine might remember. Somebody in our party did get the mac and cheese, and it did look good. I just never got to try it.
Yeah. Number 2. I'm looking over in the chat. I'm thinking Neil. When you compare the Num Num cookie to the Wookiee cookie when you're in Hollywood studios. We have an ongoing thing. You see Alyssa and Neil in chat, maybe. Neil is a very, very, very good friend of mine, and basically a family member. And he's out there on the live streams with me. If Mikhailo doesn't know, our channel Living in Diz just started the podcast a year ago, but we've only been on YouTube for maybe 3/4 of a year, Lawrence, give or take. Yeah. But we've been live streaming and vlogging from Disney parks 2 to 3 times a week for almost 6 years now. And my kids have grown up on the channel, and so my wife and the kids go out every Saturday. During the week, I go out by myself, and I'm joined with random friends. But we've had this thing about the Wookiee cookie for over a year now. My friend Neil in the chat, he loves the Wookiee cookie. I contest that it holds a lot of potential, but it's just a little dry for me. And I think the filling could be tastier, sweeter. So we go back and forth. It's a lot of fun. It's an inside thing with the channel. But the Num Num cookie is just amazing. Have you guys tried any of those?
Yes, I have actually had both.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I actually, when we had the Wookiee cookie, because we get Num Num cookies all the time because they're awesome. But yeah, I feel like the one time we had the Wookiee cookie, I would say the filling it's not like those other whoopie pies that you can get on property. It is a little different. So I think the filling is a little different. And I do think we thought it was a little dry, like kind of the same thing that you said. So yeah, it definitely wasn't what we were expecting. And so I'm pretty sure that was just kind of like a one and done for us. But we will stop and get Num Num cookies all the time. So I think we've done that several times. So yeah.
Automatic. Our favorite thing on a Saturday is to eat at, in case you guys don't know this, eating at the ABC commissary at Hollywood Studios is highly recommended by us. They have a great menu for quick serve. And the desserts don't change a lot, but there's a lot of places where the desserts don't change a lot if you're there multiple times a week. But my wife likes to grab a Num Num cookie and then save that for dessert as we head over to the ABC commissary. So that's a good thing. I even took that the Wookiee cookie one time. Last time I gave it a third try, and I literally dipped it in water on stream. And I'm like, okay, that improved that a little bit. A little bit.
Well, I do have a question on that. So I had the Num Num cookie out at Disneyland, and Disneyland always has a reputation of having better food. Mikhailo, is there any chance that you had tried the Num Num cookie out there as well?
No, we didn't get the Disneyland Num Num cookie.
Okay, because I tried it out there. I didn't care for it. So I haven't tried it at Disney World, but the way you're talking, I think I better do that this time around.
Yeah, Neil says it's just a chocolate chip cookie. No, it is a little pie. It's a little pie, and it's crunchy on the outside and warm and soft in the center with super big chunks of chocolate that just melt as you break it apart, and it's that TV commercial gooey chocolate chips. It's that good.
I think of it as like one of those like cake, or it's like a cookie cake, but like really thick. So that's kind of how I like to think about it.
I agree. Anyone coming in 2024 should definitely plan on hitting up a character meal. Have you guys done any character meals? I think I've done them all.
We have not done Topolino's, but I think we've done pretty much all of them as well.
The only one, I mean, other than character meals that I've done when I was young and I don't remember, Brian and I recently did, oh God, what's that place called? At Epcot. Garden Grill.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
Yep. And that was interesting. I'm not a huge character person, although whenever I have like character interactions, like it's always positive and always fun, but it's never something that I'm like really like looking for. Like I'm not running to character pictures all the time. So, but yeah, like it was fun for us, and it was fun to be at Garden Grill and have that kind of be the theme. But yeah.
Garden Grill is really cool because the food is good and the atmosphere changes slowly. I like that part of it. That's pretty cool. But Topolino's is great. And when it's over, you can go out to the balcony. You're welcome to stay as long as you want. And the view from there is spectacular. So definitely try that one. Put that one on your list next. But there's a lot of good character meals there. Speaking of that, lower on my list, I might as well mention it. Cinderella's Castle is something that if someone hasn't done it, they should put it on their list and at least try it once. For me, it's more of to say you ate in the castle. When can we ever access the inside of the castle? You know? So to me, that should be a bucket list thing for anybody that loves Disney World, and try to do that. I think that's a must do The food, on the other hand, to me is my least favorite thing about that whole experience. It's that you don't get a lot of food, and I honestly can't remember how good it was. I don't. If it was great, I would remember. So I was actually on vacation with the kids years ago before we lived here in Florida. We moved here about 7 years ago. And when we came on vacation, I literally looked at the plate and I said it nicely, but I was like, oh, is this the entire meal? And she was like, yes. And she's like, I can get you more. So maybe that's a pro tip. She actually got me a second helping, which was really only just a second handful of whatever they were serving.
She just brought him a fork and just put it in his mouth. That was it. That was the extra.
Yeah.
Number 4 for me, which again, these are not ranked, but try one of these 3 restaurants or all of them, whatever you can do. But 50s Primetime, Whispering Canyon, and the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. All great experiences. And I would say the food is great in all 3 of them. Hoop-Dee-Doo, honestly, I'm only basing that on what people say. I have not been able to do the Hoop-Dee-Doo yet. I've tried to get into the Hoop-Dee-Doo on occasions, and I that's the one restaurant I can't get when I really want something. So, but 50s Primetime is a staple for my son's birthday, and we went and had some really great content from that last time. But go ahead, Mikhail.
It was actually me. We have
sorry.
a reservation for Hoop-Dee-Doo coming up. It'll be our first time as well. So I'm really looking forward to it because, like you said, like everyone's talked about it and said how great it is. So I can't wait to try that.
I have a cool story. I went when I was younger, and my parents they're teachers and they've been music teachers for a long time. And they had a student who ended up going and working for Disney and was in the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. So we went and met up with him and went to Hoop-Dee-Doo and did everything. And then he had told my dad, hey, we're going to grab your son and put him up on stage. And so they put me up on stage and had me do, I think I was like the Indian or something like that, Native American. Yeah, it was crazy that like they brought me up and I did my whole thing, and I was very young, so I don't remember most of it. But I don't remember how the food was, but I'm sure it was amazing. But yeah, the actual performance is awesome. So I really liked that. So
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Let's see. Would you be willing to go up there now as an adult?
probably, yeah. I mean, I had a lot of fun, and just I mean,
Cool.
I'm totally cool with all of that audience participation type stuff. So
Okay.
That's awesome.
We'll
That's
have to-
awesome.
He should go visit Yeehaw Bob.
yeah,
Get
Bob.
Well, we're sharing a brain because you took the words right out of my mouth. The other thing that you should do is make sure you go over to Port Orleans and see Yeehaw Bob. He's a lot of fun, great guy. Neil knows him personally. Neil's a musician. Neil's played with him on occasions, and he's a real wacky guy. And the guy is in his 70s and just takes the energy from the start to the finish. It's just crazy. Have you guys seen Yeehaw Bob in person or online or anything?
Online, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him online, but yeah, I haven't been over there yet.
Would the spouses like to do something like that?
I'm actually right now, because we have plans to go over to Port Orleans. I'm trying to think if we'd be able to stick around for a show that night.
Yeah, he comes on about 8:30, I believe, is the first show. So that's something I save towards the end of the year because our actual Disney passes don't allow us in the parks for the final 2 weeks of December. So it allows me to branch out and do things outside of the parks. So Yeehaw Bob is always on my list. And I just did that a couple weeks ago. And, being over there, there's so much to do. Just walking the resort is nice.
Mhm.
You can go over and listen to jazz music. The jazz band is great. And you can have beignets and call it a night. It's a whole nice package. So that's something cool to do when you're not doing something in the parks. Let's see. How about seeing Rope Drop at Magic Kingdom? What is the name of that whole thing in the beginning?
Let the magic begin.
Is that what it is? When
Yeah.
the characters come out and they, what do they, wave and greet or whatever? They do this whole little ceremony thing, and then you go in. I thought that was something worth it. If you have a family that's willing to wake up that early. And something that's always mandatory when we would go on vacation here is have at least one lazy resort day.
Yeah, you need that.
Agreed.
Yep.
You need that. I have learned that, especially with Finley. My daughter's 4, and you've got to have a day where you just relax. We kind of did that this last trip, but my mom really did it well. We were going to Hollywood Studios in the middle, and she was like, I'm gonna stay home and just relax. I was like, okay. So she stayed in the Verbo. You got to have that downtime, because you don't realize a lot of times you don't realize how long you're going, especially if you're rope dropping. We are not a rope drop family, but especially if you're rope dropping and you go until fireworks, it's a long, tiring vacation. So take a break in the middle.
It's funny. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, go ahead. You're fine.
It's funny how you say relax, and typically when we do resort days, we don't relax. We're still running around. Well, and typically our resort days are going and checking out other resorts, and we love that. We love going and hanging out at like the Poly or the Contemporary.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still kind of running from thing to thing. So we still haven't figured out that whole relaxing on vacation thing.
Yeah.
That's okay though, because in your mind, if doing that is relaxing, then it's relaxing.
Yeah.
How about the American Adventure? I think a lot of people just are unaware that that's there. I think that's something while you're in Epcot, you walking by in America. I think that's a cool thing to go sit down and watch. It's something we don't get to do a whole lot because it's kind of restricted for live streaming it, which there's not many things in Disney that are, but I asked one day, and I don't know if I got a certain crew that didn't care, but they were like, sure, go in. So I was able to do it once, and I had live streamers contacting me. How did you do that? How did you do that? How did you get in there? So, hey, maybe we'll try again. You never know. So I think that's something worth checking out. I think it's really cool.
There's a neat little art shop next to the American Adventure too. That was really, really cool. The only reason we went in there is we were doing the scavenger hunt during the art festival, and those are inside the shops or restaurants or what have you. So we went in there and we ended up spending a good half hour just looking at all the different art in there. So that's a really cool place.
David Nessie in chat said that the opening show on the train station at Magic Kingdom that was canceled was awesome. Characters would ride the train. Oh, that's probably what I was referring to when you do rope drop. So
there is a stage show though to open.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I've actually done pre rope drop. Now and then my family and I get selected to do some promotional work for Disney in the parks. And we were filming one day. Oh, actually we were filming the holiday special 2 years ago. So we started at like 5 a.m. So it was weird to be corralled, not even in front of the stage with another stage, to be corralled around that and just see Magic Kingdom empty. And then come like 7:30, 8 o'clock, you start to see the guests come in and gather around the castle. That was pretty cool. But we have been able to be in the parks well before they're open, which is things we'll never forget. There's something I do on the channel. If you ever tune into an Epcot live stream in the evening, I never end the stream before doing what I call the World Showcase walkthrough. And what that is I start in Mexico. If I'm lazy, I'll start in Norway because you can't do much in Mexico anyway. I'll go, there's the temple. All right, now we're going to Norway. But I have a lot of energy, if you haven't noticed, but when I'm live, I have a lot of energy. And so I like to let the audience know we're going to take it down a little bit, and we're just going to talk at a lower volume. We'll still converse with the chat. We're going to hear the individual music come in for every country, so you can hear their native music. And we're just going to walk through. I'm going to show you the architecture. We'll get into some conversations, I'm sure. And we're going to go through each and every country like this till we get to the end. So what people don't know is you're free to walk around the park for about an hour before they start to move you out. So I take advantage of that, and I bring that extra element to the stream. So, and we do this thing where we came up with, if anybody does it with me, we have pins made up. And so they earn a pin, and we usually present it to them online if I have them on me or live. So I encourage anybody that is at Epcot for a night, if you have the time, go through the World Showcase walkthrough yourself, just like you've seen me do it. There's nothing like doing it live. Would you say, Lawrence? Doing it live is amazing.
No, especially if you ever get the pin that you're supposed to get from him. It's great.
He gives me a hard time. He makes me question it all the time, though. I know he has a pin. I know he does. But you never show it to me.
I thought I had it right here. I may not. But
so a little bit.
It's fun because you get to see, you go way back and you don't have anybody really around, so you get to see a lot of the countries that you don't normally get to see.
Yep, and the music, and that's the comments that I get in the chat when I'm doing it. People just say, "Wow, I never noticed that was there. I'm always in a rush." Or when the crowd is no longer there, you notice things. So it's something that's been tradition on our channel for years now, and I encourage people to try that live and in person. We did something which I don't think a channel has ever done, which when we were off in December from the parks, I did the Skyliner scavenger hunt. So you can impress the wives on this one. I'm not sure where I even got that from. I think I got the papers from Caribbean Beach. And it's every resort on the Skyliner Trail, and there's 6 to 9 things that you have to find once you're on that property, and it makes you take the Skyliner as well. I think we did it in 4 hours or 3.5, Lawrence. It wasn't bad.
No. No.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the everybody in chat loved it. And again, you're slowing down. You're not in the parks rushing to get onto a ride, so it just gives you a different look at Walt Disney World Resort.
Mm-hmm.
How about making sure you go to Disney Springs? So it's another time off from the park. Well, when we were on vacation, we used to do Animal Kingdom and then do Springs at night. But Springs is very different in the daytime too. So I think people have to ask themselves, what do you want to get out of Springs when you go? And you can certainly do both. But Springs is nice in the morning too. You get there, maybe you grab a little breakfast, you walk around. And I feel like that's more shopping focused. So if you want to just go and do some shopping without all the excitement of the evening, go and shop at Disney Springs in the early hours, and it won't even be super busy.
My wife and I, when we were there one time, we had a rainy day and we weren't going into a park that day, and we ended up going into House of Blues, and we sat at the bar, had an appetizer, had a drink. Nobody was in there because it was like lunchtime, and we were able to spend time talking to the bartender, and they were telling us all about, because they have one of the largest art collections. The term is escaping my brain right now, but they have a very large
steampunk.
No, it
okay.
No, it's
because they have things made out of like metal and stuff outside.
Yeah, it's folk art, maybe. I think something along those lines, but. She was able to tell us a lot about some of the stuff that they had. And there's one piece of work, I wanted to call it a painting, but it's not. But if you take a picture of it with your phone with the flash off, it looks like their eyes are closed. And when you take a picture with the flash, it looks like the eyes are open. So I never would have known that had we not sat there and talked to the bartender. So
same. I've eaten there once, and I didn't even know that. So that's pretty cool. And while you are at Springs, there's 2 things you can do while you are at Springs too, is take the balloon ride, Characters in Flight. I think it's maybe $25-$30. And that's great. I did it. I live streamed it. The signal was great up there, and we did it twice. We've done it at night. I've never done it in the day. So maybe we'll have to try it in the daytime sometime. Have you guys done that?
No, I think, okay, I don't know how cool you guys are with name dropping people, but I watched an Adam the Woo. I watched an Adam the Woo video one time, and it was terrifying because it was like like just back and forth. Like they were like, we probably shouldn't be on this. And I think it took them a while to pull them in because like they couldn't because of the wind and everything. So like after watching something like that, I was like, maybe that's a pass for me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that happened. I don't know if the wind caught up to them or snuck up on them, but they don't usually fly that thing if it's too windy.
We tried to go twice and it was grounded for the weather. And then I was watching a stream and you could see they were on an amphicar and you could see from behind the thing was just lean into one side and like it took them a while to bring it down.
Disney Dina also pointed out the pretty much the thing that we do every time we're at Disney Springs, and it's go to Salt and Straw and try all of their flavors of the month. And they don't mind. It's one of those places where they want you to. Can I get you another one? Can I get you another one? So that's a lot of fun to try those. And we never would have been able to say that we tried ice cream with bugs and worms, crickets and worms, if we didn't go there, my son and I.
That's why I don't go to Salt and Straw during October.
Yeah. Catherine in chat says, will you guys, will your upcoming February trip be adults only?
No, Michaela and Kristen are joining us, but we are taking my daughter and both of my daughters, and my mother-in-law is coming along too. So,
how old?
Full house.
How old are you doing?
Nice.
My oldest is 17 and my youngest is 10.
The next thing is, and you kind of have to be a Star Wars fan for this, but if you're any kind of Star Wars fan for this, I would say that you should build a lightsaber or a droid. I finally did see, and here's the thing. For a while, I used to say, well, I watched my son do it, so I kind of got the experience, but not really. It is very different when you make it yourself. I think you kind of get caught up in the moment more, and it's cool. It's really meaningful, and I'll always remember that I did that for my birthday last year, and I look at that lightsaber on the mantle, and I'm just like, yeah, I remember that day. That's pretty cool. So I recommend that. Did you do that, Mikhailo? You were nodding your head.
No, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I think it's just because like I'm very bad with things that take a lot of time. Not that like I know that it takes a lot of time, but I'm always kind of like trying to like move to the next thing. So like really just kind of trying to like stop and do something for like an extended amount of time is kind of difficult for me. But watching all the video, even like droids look so cool. And I am a big Star Wars fan. It's kind of faded over the years a little bit, but still like just being able to make your own lightsaber and go through everything that they go through with you looks so cool. So it's definitely a bucket list item that I just haven't gotten to do yet.
Yeah, that's cool. Let me see. I saw a comment here. Crew it up. He's a very big Star Wars fan. I can't believe he's never built a lightsaber before or a droid. Well, if you want to meet us in the park sometime, we can. I'm sure a family member would want to go in with you, but if you want to take me in with you, we'll show it live for sure. Melissa Winter says, "Can we see your lightsabers and droids, and how many you have?" Yeah, no. I mean, that's tough. I have a lot on shelves. You know what I'll do? I'll have to take pictures at some point, and I'll post them up here on the podcast, and I'll show you all my droids. We really only have 2 droids, but the lightsabers are a little out of control. I think we probably have about 15 or so.
Oh, wow.
So,
jeez, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and I was thinking, I know it's come to the point where Disney hasn't put out a whole lot of new ones because we check in now and then, and I'm like, all right, if they have everything we have, but of the 3 new ones, I'm not super interested in, but I am very interested in the Yoda one. I don't know if you all have seen it, but a normal blade or hilt is like this big, and Yoda's like this. It's like a tiny flashlight. It's really cool.
Mhm.
It's really cute. Eventually, I'll have to open the pocketbook for that. And I have a really cool wife. You know, she doesn't walk away like, you don't need another lightsaber. But she's like, if you want it, you should just get it before it's gone. I just haven't wanted to shell out the money for another one yet.
I was there on May 4th, and she said to him, well, you should probably just go ahead and get it. It's only available today. You should probably just go ahead and get it. I almost fell on the floor. It's like, what?
Oh,
Or something?
yeah. Let me tell you, when the lightsaber that comes out for May 4th is super expensive. And I was live there. It's been a tradition now on our channel. We make sure we go to May the 4th all the time. And 2 years ago when I went, I was in the shop, finally got in the shop. I was looking at all the merch, picking up all the things that the family wanted. And my wife is watching at home and she says, show the exclusive lightsaber. And I'm like, okay, I'll get over there. And so I showed it and I walked away and she's like, she was hinting around about the lightsaber again multiple times and I just wasn't getting it. And I think I even had to text her or call her and she's like, what are you thinking about? Get the lightsaber. It's exclusive. And I'm like, okay. She wants me to spend $300-400. Okay. So I did. And it's a family heirloom now in the other room. But then we came back this May the 4th and same thing happened again. She's like, you got to get it. I almost didn't get it. And she's like, what are you doing? So I picked that one up too. And that one was it like over 400, Lawrence? It was
over 400.
It was pricey.
Oof.
So I guess I might as well just count on picking up the next one on May the 4th. Might as well just keep rolling with it at this point. So let's hit up our sponsors quick. And when we come back, we'll round out this list. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. Hang tight, everybody. Let's see. I wasn't truly ready for that, but we will be. Looking for a home that offers the perfect blend of luxury, comfort, and convenience with Disney World in your backyard? Victor Naraki is a licensed realtor with Vision Home Real Estate LLC. He is here to help you find the home of your dreams. With over 13 years of experience in the vacation home market and a proven track record of success, Victor is the perfect partner to guide you through every step of the home buying process. So why wait? Visit DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com today to learn more about Victor's exclusive range of properties and schedule a viewing with him today. Your dream home is just a click away. If you're planning your next Disney vacation, consider booking with Your Magical Adventures Await. Claudia is a Disney travel agent who can create a magical adventure to any Disney park worldwide, including Walt Disney World in Florida, Disney Cruise Lines, Alani Resort in Hawaii, and guided group vacations with Adventures by Disney. She can also plan Universal Studios trips. The best part? If you book with her, her services are free. Disney pays her to help you create a seamless, magical adventure. Her availability is unmatched, and you can contact her Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Make your magical planner Claudia Anderson today from Your Magical Adventures Await by calling her at 956-455-8049. You can also follow her on Instagram, all one word. Winter is not too far away, and you'll soon be needing to bundle up. Keep your head... All right, I tried to make it back in time. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's round this thing off. We don't have too many more to go here. How about the resort crawl? I'm thinking about mainly the monorail resort crawl.
Yeah.
That makes for a nice evening or a nice day. Some people who like to drink, you can do the crawl there where you drink a little bit at each resort or just walk around, whatever you want to do with the resorts, and you get to ride the monorail. So I think that's something in 2024 that people can kind of incorporate in that whole thing. Have you guys been to all three resorts, done anything like that?
We did one. I guess my wife and I have both done it, and then we did one with our family. We've also tried to do one with the Skyliner, but we got stopped by a storm, so they shut down the Skyliner, and we called it a night after that. So
Yeah, you gave me flashbacks. We did this whole plan on a Saturday where we were going to do a whole Skyliner live stream, and the weather just stopped that dead in its tracks. Not a whole thing, but we were starting with it, and it was a disaster. So they're really cautious with that, obviously. So there are many times where if the weather's questionable, they will hold off on using the Skyliner. Let's see. Run Disney. Run Disney's really popular here. I had it on the list because I think it's something that anybody that's interested in doing any kind of that sort of thing, walking, running, enjoying the experience, then definitely put it on your list. I personally, I'm not a big fan of them anymore for what my use is. It's just for us as locals, it means busier parks. It means, traffic is okay, I guess, but it's just crazy busy. And it seems like more and more races get added, but they are a fun experience.
Yeah, not me.
Not you, not for you.
Not a
I've always thought that Run Disney would be fun because like they're like, especially kind of the bigger ones, because you're running the highway, but then it's like, oh, we're going to Hollywood Studios next. Yeah, let's run that way. And then it's like, oh, we're gonna end at Epcot. Yeah, let's go do that. So I feel like the motivation would be there for me to just like run a marathon because I'm running in Disney.
Yeah. I'll probably do another one at some point, but it's been a long time since I've done one. And of course, I would take the camera with me, so I would take everybody along with me. How about an Epcot festival? You can't come to Walt Disney World for a span of time and not take in an Epcot festival. And they're all great in their own right. And right now, Festival of the Arts is going on, and we just went on Saturday. We had so much fun. What's that?
I said farts.
Yes, exactly. I tell our viewers, I'm like, it's the only month that we're allowed to say farts on the channel, so let's just keep saying it.
Do you, Michaela and Brian, do you have favorite festivals?
Mine would be Flower and Garden, but I have a feeling it's going to be changed to Arts once we get there. It'll be our first time doing it.
I mean, I love Food and Wine just because I love food. Food is great. But I mean, I do enjoy when they bring bands in and everything. So I think we're going to try to, in May, go and see like Simple Plan, because that sounds awesome. Seeing one of my childhood bands at Epcot. So that's always fun. And that's during Festival of the Arts, I believe.
Flower and Garden.
Flower and Garden, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, like that's, I mean, I'm not a huge Flower and Garden fan, but when they do stuff like that, it's pretty cool. But Festival of the Arts is cool because the last time I was there, which was like 2 years ago, maybe longer than that, we actually got to go into that like little hub in between, I forget which two countries it is, but you kind of go into like that like little hub area, and they have all the art and like all the food in there. So that was pretty cool because it's like an area that you don't usually get to go in.
Maybe you're talking about the Odyssey building.
No, probably.
I think
of a bike.
Yeah,
path.
World Showplace. Yeah, yep, that's what it is.
Yeah. Recently, they've shut that down, so I don't know when we'll ever get a chance to go in there again. But there's been several festivals now where it hasn't been open to us. But that was a great little spot. So we'll have to see. But we just went to Farts on Saturday, and we had so much fun. We never really go to the same park twice in terms of from one Saturday to the next. But the family agreed that we had so much fun on Saturday. Let's go back, and it'll seem like a whole different day because we get to eat different foods, and we really didn't cover all the art. So we'll pick up where we left off and have a good time doing that. So another one on my list is you got to see either all or as many nighttime spectaculars as you can. And with that said, with the current ones playing, have you guys seen all of them? I'm guessing you haven't seen Luminous yet.
No, we actually, it's funny, the last trip we were on, we left the day Luminous was premiering. Oh, we had a flight at like 8:30 that night, so we just missed Luminous. So we were kind of bummed about that. But I think that's the only one I haven't seen so far. So
Are you going to make it? I imagine you guys are going to make sure you see it on this next trip.
oh, for sure, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Have you had a chance to watch any of it yet, or are you keeping away from it so you can witness it in person?
I typically try to keep away from things like when I want to go experience them in the parks, but just with the live streamers that I watch all the time and it kind of being everywhere, I've seen parts of it already, but I don't think I've actually sat down and experienced all of it all at once. But yeah, it's I typically try to not like see too much of what I want to go experience for the first time at Disney. Like when they come out with new rides and people have all those ride POVs, I am just like avoiding them like the plague because I want to experience the ride for the first time, not knowing what I'm getting into. So
This is your fellow Wisco buddy here, Spencer, who is originally from Wisco. He moved here to Florida. He still has his place up there. So he's always witty and funny. But for Luminous, if you feel like you want to get a little bit of what the meaning behind it is and understand it going in without having the visuals, we did a podcast with a guy who has a channel called Cliff Flicks, and he was there the night we filmed it, or I live streamed it and he filmed it. And what he likes to do is his technology is amazing. He developed his own microphones, and he will film a show from multi angles and then spend weeks on editing it to its perfect. So he has a lot of great, all the nighttime spectaculars on his channel. So it's Cliff Flicks, ends with an X. But we had a great interview with him on our podcast. If you want to go back sometime and look at that before your trip, I think it will enhance the experience and make you like Luminous more initially, because a lot of us just didn't understand it the first time. A little complex, but it's not as complex as you think if you get a little bit of background on it. So just a tip if you want to go in and take advantage of that. So how about this? I was almost going to say this is more for the women, but do you have certain types of merch that you always come back with? You got to make sure you come back with a mug or a t-shirt, a lounge fly. There's certain things. So I'm saying people should always, never leave without coming back with certain things that you love.
is it appropriate to say everything?
Yes, it is. Because I go in cycles. I buy a lot of something and then I realize, okay, I'm going to collect something else now. I mean, I've gone from magic bands to mugs to t-shirts. My wife and I literally said last month, we should probably stop buying t-shirts for a while. And what did we do the very next day? We each bought 2 new t-shirts at Disney. They're hard to say no to. And now I'm collecting these. Lawrence and I have come up with this thing from day one that we would wear different button-down Hawaiian style shirts on each stream. And his wife is a wonderful seamstress. We call her the streamstress. And she makes a lot of them for us as well. And these are hers here.
Yeah.
So
Have you guys
are one of them now?
have you guys checked out Roosevelt's?
yes, they're nice.
They're expensive.
They're nice. They're pricey, but they are very nice. I have yet to own one, but eventually I'm going to have to give it up for those. So,
We did get a couple of Christmas themed Hawaiian shirts and took that to the Christmas party back in December.
Oh yeah, we did.
And the 4 of us were all wearing the same one. We got a ton of comments from it. It was a lot of fun to do that. So that's another thing you should do is dress up together, matching maybe, and go to a party.
that's a great one to put on the list. Would you say, Lawrence?
Matchy.
Yes. Yes. Let's see. Rounding the list out here. Let me catch up. Keys to the Kingdom is something I've never done, but if a family is able to do that, I would recommend doing Keys to the Kingdom because I hear such great things about it. So I entered that on the list. And we're talking about nighttime spectaculars. Phantasmic. If there's only one to see that you can see, for me, it's Phantasmic. I think nothing comes close. I think that production is so high level. It puts, even though Disney does spectacular fireworks shows, this goes far and above it, in my opinion. So
I have to give a little shout out. I have a Facebook friend who actually did the lighting design for that show. And it's funny because he kept posting pictures of Phantasmic. And I was like, it's not out yet. How is he getting pictures of this? And so I messaged him and I was like, are you programming for Phantasmic? He was like, oh, yeah. I was like,
Wow.
what? So that's pretty cool.
that is really cool. That is really, really cool. The last one I had is pretty much, which could round out like 50 things, but just make sure you ride some of the greatest rides in Walt Disney World. So that's my last one there. And for me, like the must-dos is Guardians, which you guys talked about in length. And I had a thought on that too. Like, I know never always tell the truth to those who you want to convince go on a ride. And you talk about your youngest daughter, maybe.
Yes, Mia is scared of everything.
So if there's 3 drops, I'm like, tell her there's 3 drops. Because if I ever tell my wife something that's not accurate, which she says I do anyway, I'll be like, it's not that fast. Oh, it was fast. Tell them the truth. Otherwise, they won't trust you the next time.
Right.
And Neil is somebody who he can talk to my wife anytime, but I forbid him to talk to her after he's gone on a new ride, because Neil is a little extra when it comes to the rides. And he is convinced my wife to not go on 2 rides. Like Guardians, she was interested. Nope. And there was one other ride, Flight of Passage. I think he was like, that's like soaring on steroids. She'll never go on now. So I heard them starting to talk about Tron, and I was like, stop. No, I think I blocked him from the chat. I'm like, you cannot talk to Tammy until she goes on that herself. So lots of great rides. And that's my top 24 things to do in 2024 in WDW. Not to put you guys on the spot, but in the course of the conversation, Lawrence too, is there anything else that you would say people need to do in 2024 if they can?
Watch fireworks from California Grill.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's that good.
I have never done that, but I can imagine it's even better watching from there. For free, you can go up about, on the level of where Chef Mickey's is in the stores. I don't know if you guys have known that. You can go out to the side and you can watch fireworks from there. The only problem is there's the monorail goes over your head, which is really cool. You could almost touch it. But there's like a venting system there that's a little bit loud. So I feel like that probably interferes with the show when you're live streaming it. But I went up there on, what night was it, Lawrence? Monday? It was Monday. Monday night. So Monday night, now Disney's doing the after hours events again.
Oh, yeah.
So Monday nights I'm live in Magic Kingdom mostly. And so leaving at 10, I was like, well, I want to do something else. So I walked over to the Contemporary, went up to that spot to show the Enchantment fireworks. So we're thinking, as part of the package to entice people to go to Magic Kingdom and do after hours, is, hey, let's show Enchantment, which is pretty cool to bring back another show. So in one night, you can see Happily Ever After and Enchantment. So I'm like, we'll go see Enchantment, guys. Before we end the stream, we'll go over there. So we're there. We're set up. The fog was so thick that you couldn't even see the fireworks. And eventually, Magic Kingdom and Space Mountain disappeared.
Yeah.
But I'll try it again.
I've never seen the fog that thick over there, especially at night. I've seen it sometimes, right at morning before opening. It'll look like that, but that was rough.
It was rough, and I was like, I'm just gonna stick with it.
Yeah.
I think I saw pictures of that day, and I think somebody posted like, oh, this is what happens when they do Luminous without wind. And I was like, oh wow, is this really? But I guess it was just fog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, that's the subject for tonight. So we could probably should we do inside this week in the parks? Is it well we should, right? Should we do that quick?
Yeah, we can do it.
All
quick
right.
one.
All right. We have one little quick segment. If you guys want to stay, that's great. I just don't want to put you behind on anything you have to do, but we'll just wrap this up with this last segment that we do. Do you guys want to stay or you got to go?
Yeah, I think I'm going to say goodbye.
All right. Thank you so much for allowing us to have you come on. And it was definitely a great time talking with you. And it sounds like we may be on your podcast next week. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes,
I believe
absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that either because it's been such a fun time talking to you guys.
You too. So yeah, have a wonderful evening and thanks for coming on and we'll see you next week.
Yep, we'll see you.
All right, take care.
I'll bow out too. So we'll be in touch and we'll talk next week. I look forward to it.
Sounds good. Great meeting you, Brian. Tell the ladies we said hello and see if you can get them to pop on too.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great night, guys.
Thanks, you too.
You too. Make sure you all check them out. Miles from Main Street on any podcast platform, everybody. And we'll be over there next week. Have a good week, Brian.
Thanks, you too.
All
Talk to
right. All right. So inside the parks, lead the way. Where was I? How many podcasts? I mean, how many live streams have we done? We did 2.
No, we didn't do Thursday.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Where was I?
Chat.
I think I was in Hollywood. Was I? I would think I was in Hollywood, right? So I got to span 3 parks. So Hollywood, geez, that's remembering a long time ago. Just a normal night, I think. I don't know if I really found any new merch or anything. This is a good test for everybody watching too. I just think it was a typical night. It was great to get back to Phantasmic. I hadn't seen it in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Although it was kind of B mode, a mode I'd never seen it in. Mickey was not on top of the mountain.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And I timed it perfectly. Did the quick zoom, and I was like, mouth wide open. Mickey is not there. So I quickly went down, and they had this whole B mode Mickey down below. So we got to see B mode on that. Normally, if you get a B mode, it's Maleficent.
Right.
She doesn't blow fire or something, or you don't see the dragon at all.
Right.
Oh, Catherine says Corey bought me a lounge fly. Yes, I did. I like spending Lawrence's money.
Yeah. You're welcome.
You're welcome. So, yeah, that was a fun night. Neil was with me. Neil's knee was hurting him, so Neil took a little break in the center of Hollywood Studios, and I went down. I got the peanut butter and jelly cookie, which I enjoyed very much. I wouldn't mind getting that again. It's old. It's been out for a while, but I was looking for something different or something I hadn't had in a while, and that was right up my alley. And I've been on a peanut butter and jelly kick lately, so I had that.
Neil says that it was windy. Was it windy on the ground too? Were you feeling that much wind on the ground that night? Do you remember?
I honestly don't remember that. I'm going to say no, unless Neil remembers differently. I did not remember that. And we got to watch both of the nighttime projection shows, which we haven't done in a while. So it was great to have done those 3 things that night. I did Single Rider Smuggler's Run. So if anybody doesn't know, you can always do Single Rider if you want to get on Smuggler's Run quicker. Just know that you might not be able to ride with family or friends.
Yeah. And you may not get the position that you want. You're almost never going to be the pilot if you're doing single rider.
Right.
You're going to be an engineer.
Right.
Almost.
Although you can request still. You can request being single, less chance, but if it's two of you who stood in the regular line, there's a good chance they'll give you what your request is.
Yeah.
So what came next? I guess that would be Saturday.
Yep.
Farts.
Yep.
Farts was great. Tried some really wonderful foods. Can't remember the foods I tried though, but they were good. The hummingbird cake in America was really good.
But
it was different.
Yeah.
It was different. It was different than the legendary hummingbird cake in Homecoming, but it was good. It had its own twist on things, and we really enjoyed it. And there's a good chance we'll get it again, maybe even this Saturday. But anyway, you can go back to the live stream and check that out of what we ate on Saturdays. That was really good. We didn't get over to see any of the performances on stage, so we'll try to do that this time if we can. And looked at some great art, and we're just going to do it again. We had so much fun. We're going to go back on Saturday live, so watch notifications for start times, and we'll do all the typical Epcot fun that we usually have. And we will also, what was that noise?
I didn't hear anything.
Okay. I heard something weird, like, that was weird. Okay. So yeah, we'll do all our typical Epcot fun. And it was great to look at some of the art. Neil said I spent too much time looking at some of the art, but some of the art was worth stopping for. So, I mean, it's all worth stopping for, but it was worth taking a very close look at. So, and one thing that I learned, some of these booths now allow you to, that's funny. That's funny in chat. I can now let our viewers know where they can order this art online.
Yes.
In some of the booths. So I'm happy to share that for the artists, and we'll do that again if that's available. And as for Magic Kingdom, went to Magic Kingdom on Monday night. We, like we mentioned before, tried to show Enchantment from the Contemporary when MK closed to the public, and we went out there. It was a big fail, but it's there. So whenever I feel like doing Enchantment on a Monday night, I'll just go over and we'll do it again. Of course, my mentality, is most likely I'll do it on Monday to make up for what happened this past Monday and show Enchantment and redeem myself that way. And it was a fun night with Neil and Alyssa and Neil. Went on a lot of rides. Park was not busy. And that was a lot of fun. I discovered a new snack. I'll touch on this and we can finish up. I'm not a big fan of Rice Krispie treats, but I tried a Rice Krispie treat because they didn't have, Jeff had super chatted me to try the marshmallow chocolate covered Mickey Pops, but they were out. So I'll try to do that early on. And so I tried a Rice Krispie Mickey treat covered in chocolate and sprinkled with chunks of Snickers. OMG. 5 out of 5. It was good. So that might open me up to more Rice Krispie treats. It was good. So 5 out of 5 for anybody scoring at home. Tammy took notice and said, Catherine, Corey bought you a new Loungefly? Yeah, Tammy, you should try it. I bought it with Lawrence's money. Well, Tammy knows too, because it's sitting on our couch. We will ship that out to you when our DizPod t-shirts come. We can't even track them.
Oh,
so we're waiting on that.
Okay.
The sweatshirt came all by itself. So I'm hoping within the next day or two, I think was the shipping window,
okay,
that they should come. So I'm trying to be patient for another day or two.
Very cool. I will say I think the new live stream schedule for Living in Diz is working out well. Monday and every other Thursday. I like Monday nights. Normally, I'm not doing anything on Mondays, so I can be in there putting in some polls for you. So, yeah, Mondays are good. Yeah.
That's great. Normally we block a comment like that. Steve Bullock says Lawrence passed gas on that sound, but we are talking about farts, so it's appropriate this time. So Steve gifted a membership. Blast the chat for Steve and Tony, everybody. We appreciate all that they do for us, and great friends as well. Neil said
earlier, and I didn't get to play my sound, so I'm gonna go back and do it.
Super chat.
There you go. Thank you, Spencer.
That's right. Thank you so much to Spencer as well. We always appreciate that. And Tammy, Neil said that Tammy got a lug. So lug, L-U-G, is a brand new product, brand new backpack that's come out in Disney. So I'm excited to see what else Disney does with these.
How's she like it?
I think she's loving it. She hasn't used it yet. I bet she'll use it on Saturday, though.
Yeah.
It was sitting behind me before the podcast, and it has so many pockets,
right?
That as soon as they come out with one that I like, I'm going to have to buy one.
Nice.
So Corey tried to steal my lug, says Tammy. I teased her. I'm like, this could come out to Magic Kingdom with me on Monday night.
There were a couple questions that I wanted to answer. So Shannon, Brian and Michaela, they are a podcast only, so they do not do live streaming. So they won't live stream from the parks. But they do in their podcast, they do a lot of recaps, trip recaps. So you'll be able to kind of do that. I like when podcasts do that. So yeah, you'll be able to do that. And we will be on their show next week. And then I forgot to ask them when it comes out, but we're recording it, I believe, on Wednesday after our show. And then as soon as it's released, we'll post that in our community tab.
Yeah, so you all can go follow and listen to that as well. And if you enjoy them, make sure you all follow them so you can catch all of their podcasts as well. I listened. I liked it. I'm picky. I'm judgmental because I know what I like, what I'm looking for. I'm critical of my own stuff. You know that. And I like them. It was easy to listen. Mm-hmm. And I just kept listening. So I'm going to go back and listen to more of their stuff for sure.
Me too. Yep.
Oh, Alicia wants to know, does she want a filming update? Okay, so quickly, I told you, I'll take y'all along this journey right now, this incredible journey of the Living in Diz movie coming out this summer, which is crazy. And where are we now? So we have paused filming for a few days because of my schedule, but tomorrow will be a heavy filming day. When I come home from work, what we'll be covering is how I prepare for a live stream technically. I will take everyone through the entire process right here. And I will also do another interview on camera with this scenery here behind me. And Lawrence soon will be recording a piece as to how he found the channel and what he thinks of me, of the family, his journey over the last year or more of his experience with Living in Diz. And Neil has agreed as well at some point to do the same. So that'll be amazing. And so filming for this week is that. And then once that phase is done, we will have cameras going while we do the podcast so we can get some behind the scenes shots of before the show, after the show, and like that. And that will be another phase that we do. There is a scene where we have to talk about the weekend we lost the channel.
Oof.
So we've got to cover that.
That's gonna be a tearjerker of the movie, right? That section.
It is a tearjerker, and I will tell you that tears have been shed on camera already. And lastly, things can be added for sure. We'll be filming in the parks while we're live. So we'll be getting some behind the scenes, behind the camera shots of me live streaming with all of you. If you're all lucky, I will shout out some of your names. And when we submit all the raw footage, you may hear your name in the movie. How about that? And we'll get Tammy behind the scenes live streaming, and Jacob and Jill. So we'll get some behind the scenes shots, and we'll wait for that baby to come out. If anybody didn't see it, lastly, I'll say, what did Neil say about 300 viewers? If we can get 300 viewers on Saturday, I'll pop into the podcast. Okay.
So I just
like it.
Put that on screen, so it's historical data now. So let's so folks, share the show out on Saturday. Share the show.
I talked with the of course I email back and forth with the filmmaker. This is not the final poster. He wants to completely finish the project, and that will tell him what direction to take the poster in. So this is just something to have there for now, a tease. And you can find it on imdb.com, which this is amazing. Lawrence found this the other day. It totally made my day. I always wanted to be on IMDb, and we've done projects that just don't make it to IMDb. This project made it to IMDb. So this is the working poster for now. It will change. I do have to give them clean, pristine copies of our logo. So that will go into the work of art when the final poster is complete as well. And I just like what's on the poster right now, which is kind of neat. You see in the search bar, Disney World Vlogger, Living in Diz came up, and it says, a new documentary from award-winning filmmaker Jason O'Brien. The Magic Arrives, summer 2024, from Fastlane Productions. And I love the slogan at the top. For most, a Disney World trip is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. For a select few, it's a passion to bring the magic online every day. So it is what it is, right?
I mean, he really captures exactly what, it is. I mean, and I certainly don't do it as much as you do, but I was able to fill in, a couple weeks ago. And that is exactly how I took it. Like, we were running late one day, and I'm like, okay, I got to go because I have to be there for the parade. So I left Catherine and everybody behind so that I could be at Magic for the parade, because I did not want to not be able to bring that to the community. So, and I know that we see that parade on, your stream and everybody else's stream, but there's just something about watching it live with everybody in chat. It's a great community. So that poster, I think, captures a lot of what live streaming is.
It really captures the passion and the dedication, which is what we're going to show. And a lot of people that don't know us well enough are going to be like, wow, there's a lot that goes into this. So we're excited to bring that all to all of you.
Yeah.
So another wonderful podcast in the books. I know we kept, in our ongoing effort to keep this to an hour. Hey, hour and 38 minutes. But it was a big subject to tackle, the top 24.
Well, it was a big subject, and we had 2 guests on. So, sorry, I knew it wasn't going to be an hour, but there's a lot that goes into, what are we going to do in the parks for this coming year? What do we want to try and do? So I thought it was a great subject, especially in the beginning of the year. And we actually know our subject for next week, which is not normal for us. So next week, the 27th is the last day for Country Bears Jamboree. So next week's show, we're going to talk about Country Bears. We're going to give you some of the history behind the show, talk about some of the different versions that the show has had, little sneak peek of the upcoming version, and we'll also talk about some of the other stage shows, if you will, in the parks that people shouldn't miss.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. And hopefully people will listen to this and take some tips down and do some of these things. I'm hoping it'll make it easier for people to compile some things for them to do. And you don't necessarily, I don't expect somebody to come and do every single one of those things on one trip, but if you do multiple trips in 2024 or even into 25, 26, you can make your list and you can go ahead and chip away at it.
That's right.
So Disney Adventure Home says, great pod. Disney Adventure Home. I was thinking of you all. Let's I'll have to email you all, and we'll have to figure out what we want to do together to partner up. If you don't mind, just in case I get crazy and I delete emails, I'm sure I still have yours, but just email and say, hey, hello, and I can respond to that a lot easier. Because definitely want to get together with you guys for sure. Ann Gilnex has another great Diz pod in the books. Thanks, Corey and Lawrence. You are all so welcome. We do this live because we do it for you. This is so much fun. This is just two buddies talking Disney, and Lawrence has a level of excellence in how he carries himself and how he does things, does business, does whatever, does pleasure. I do the same thing. So it's a great match. Thank you so much, Bree. And it's our name on this thing. So we're not going to half butt it, B-U-T-T. We're not going to half butt this thing.
Yeah.
And I saw that crew it up, and I messaged you, I think. Oh, I'm about to. So yes. All right, everybody.
Stay tuned for next week's announcement. Have we made that decision? Are we switching times?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So the members only podcast will be at 6:30, and then the the public version will be at 7:00. The full version at 7:00. So that seemed to work out pretty well tonight when we did it. We did it tonight because we had our guests who are an hour behind us. So for their time, we did that. But it actually worked out better for us. So we're going to switch that up.
Yeah. All right, everybody. So hold on. Ann Gilnack just gifted a membership. Blast the chat for Ann Gilnack, who just dropped a random membership. You both bring the joy to the Dizpod, says Steve Bullock. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you.
Who picked that up? Who picked up that gift?
That was picked up by Christopher Williams.
Christopher Williams, congratulations. Enjoy that. What that does, it gives you a $5 value to the membership. It gets your name highlighted in green. You get to use all the special emojis like you see in the chat right now, as everybody's blasting the chat for Ann Gilnack. And it gets your name in the credits at the end of future live streams when we're live in the parks. And it gets you the exclusive members only podcast that's starting today and continuing next week. The members only podcast will kick off at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then we go right into the Dizpod at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So thank you so much. We love you all. I cannot say that and stress that enough for all that you do and support us. We are family. There are the hearts. Beautiful. We are truly family. And I'll take you all in the parks on Saturdays. Another part 2. We'll be farting together at farts. No, you never know. Although, all right, insider tip. Sometimes there's a rant. I can't say that because it doesn't happen that much. Now, every time I mute, they're going to be like, oh boy, Corey. But there have been moments where if, I didn't want you all to hear a little something, I do mute. It's mostly because I'm telling Tammy something, or we have something private to talk about between Neil, whoever's with me. But there's a few occasions now where, we just have to mute for about 3 seconds. So we'll leave it at that. We love you all, though. Can't believe I said that, but there it is. And so for the Dizpod, I'm Corey.
I'm Lawrence.
And this is the Dizpod, everybody. We want to thank our guests one more time, Miles from Main Street. And we'll see y'all in the parks on Saturdays. And I almost ended again without rolling this.